What if it's written mine on my upper thigh? Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my vlog, my channel. Today's video, as you can see, I am doing mid-year wrap-up on all the books I've read so far since the beginning of the year, since we are halfway through the year, which is so crazy. I didn't even realize that June is halfway point of the year, so that's just so wild. Anyways, I'm wearing my bookmark merch. It finally came in. Bookmark is podcast with bestie Sarah and Destiny, my fave booktubers. I'm just so obsessed. My first time wearing it. Oh my god. Oh my god, do you see that? That's what it looks like. And then, oh my god, also I posted a picture of like my sweater that I received it and tagged Bookmark Podcast, Destiny, and Sarah liked my post. I literally was screaming. Anyways, let's get into the books. My Goodreads goal for this year was to read 100 books. I think at first I had 105, but then I just settled for 100. As of right now, I am at 57 out of 100 books, so that's really epic. And I am 7 books ahead of schedule, according to Goodreads, so that's really so epic for me. Okay, so let's get into the book tag questions. I'll have the questions down below if you like want to read it, want to do it, or if you want to comment your answers to these questions. So question number 1 is best book you read so far in 2024. That will no doubt have to go to The Serpent and the Wings of the Night by Carissa Broadbent. It's a duology with the same 2 characters, and then there's gonna be, I think, a universe she's building around it. I was so obsessed with. Oh my god, it's like a mix of Hunger Games, ACOTAR, Rivals to Lovers. I just loved it so much. It was so complex, I feel like, and the emotions with the morally gray characters, like they are so morally gray, if I ever known one. This one was like a very different prerogative, is that the word? Like complicated emotions, because some characters would do certain things that are not okay, but trying to not to get over those like actions that they had to do. Oh my god, I love it. And then Reese, oh my gosh, or sorry, not Reese, Rain. I love him. Gave me the feels, good and bad. I just love both characters. Aurea, the female main character, and Rain, the male main character, and even like the villain of the story. Not gonna say, but I loved them so much. Best sequel you read so far in 2024. I was a little bit conflicted about this. I'm trying to think of other books I've read throughout 2024, because I'm not just gonna say the second book of The Serpent, the Wings, and the Night. The Ashes and the Star-Crossed King. That's the second book. I'm gonna try to broaden my answers. So, the answer I had for this is Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, because this year I did read and finish Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. There is a new book that came out kind of recently. It's kind of like after all the other books, the spin-off books that they have in the universe. So I didn't read that yet because I want to read those other ones. The original ending of the series. I thought Sea of Monsters was a good sequel to the first book. It shows like more high stakes, because each book gets more high stakes after the other, getting more into the lore and the prophecies and how the world works for the demigods, and I really love that. I really thought like Sea of Monsters was pretty great at introducing even higher stakes than even the first one. That is not my favorite book of the series, so that's why I was like, should I even consider that? But I did think it was a good next book to The Lightning Thief. New releases you haven't read but want to. I really don't think about new releases as much right now. I'm not really into keeping up with the book community in that way, but I would love to leave Wild Love by Elsie Silver. In general, I have read a few of Elsie Silver's work. I think she's the one who has the Chestnut Spring series, right? I really liked a few of those books. I don't think I read the whole series because I skipped around. Bestie Sarah and Destiny talk about Wild Love. A lot of other people have enjoyed it for like a romance, so I really wanna read that because I'm trying to get out of my dark romance era right now. I was so obsessed and I think I'm getting a little bit tired of it and slowing down, so I want to get back into like cutesy romances where the main character isn't so toxic or like possessive or like an alpha male. I want something more chill, lighthearted, cute, still like eating it up. I really want to read Wild Love, and that was a new release from this year, I think. yeah, I'm pretty sure. Most anticipated release of the second half of the year. I had to look it up again because I'm not really into like knowing what's coming out and like whatever. So when I looked it up, I found Play Along by Liz Tomford, which is part of Windy City series, which I am really into. I read all 3 books, so I am excited for the 4th book in that series. And then also If You Want Me by Helena Hunting, because earlier this year I did read If You Hate Me by Helena Hunting, and she is my favorite sports hockey romance author. She like perfectly mixes plot and spice, and like her spice with the plot and like hockey is like on another level. So I'm excited for those 2 books. Pretty sure I'm posting this video in July, so it's coming out soon if you're into that. Kind of funny that both of these are sports romances. I'm so excited to get back into reading non-dark romance and sports romance. That was my OG genre, other than werewolf supernatural, but that's my other OG genre. Biggest surprise I would say is the Kingmaker series by Sophie Lark. I read the Brutal Birthright series and I really enjoyed the beginning half of that series, but towards the end with all the other siblings in that story, I was kind of getting like meh. And then originally before it kind of got rebranded as the Kingmaker series, like it was called The Heir, The Stolen, The Chosen. And I remember after I finished the Brutal Birthright series, I was gonna get into that spin-off series with their kids, but I wasn't really into it. And then it got rebranded, so it's called like Kingmakers Year 1, Kingmakers Year 2 for like each book, you know what I'm saying? Hope I'm describing that right. I got reintroduced to it, I don't remember where, either on TikTok or just like on my Kindle app page, and I saw Kingmakers and I was like, oh, I like that branding a lot better than how it was before, so I decided to read it, which I really was not expecting to read the spin-off Brutal Birthright series. And so I did, and I finished, and I kind of ate it up, except again, near the ending, the other books, it kind of does lose me personally, which I will get into when I do my book wrap-up videos, specific thoughts on each of the books in that series. I did actually really enjoy that series, and I originally didn't think I was ever going to get to it or even like it based off my original reaction. Okay. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. Okay, new favorite author, debut or new to you. I chose new to me, which is Ali Hazelwood. I read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which is a supernatural romance, and kind of tiny bit mentioned it before, but my OG genre, like back when I would read Wattpad and everything, was werewolf, fated mates, trope type vibe. So this was right up my alley, got right back into it. I thought it was really good for like an actual release, kind of like the Omegaverse book, because I haven't read one in like so long that wasn't from Wattpad or like, I don't know, something from Kindle Unlimited. So I really enjoyed her writing, and a lot of people weren't really into The Bride, but really liked her other works, which is why they read The Bride. So I'm really excited to get into her other works, because I know she has a lot of other books like that are STEM related, like Love Theoretically, and I think other things. And I saw Haley Pham was rating her other new release book, Not in Love or something like that, and she didn't really enjoy it as much because of all the steam, because she doesn't like steam. So I'm thinking I'll like it because I like steam. So, and I also really liked how she wrote her steam. Like, it wasn't too much. Sometimes it depends what mood I'm in, where I'm picky about like how much steam I want. A lot of the time I want a lot more steam. Her plot was so good that I forgot about like wanting the steam. Pretty good balance between steam and plot as of reading Bride. Next question. Newest fictional crush. Kind of had 2, but I'm not really remembering, because I'm not really good at remembering books sometimes after a long time. My original fictional crush from this year was Rain from Serpent and the Wings of the Night. I loved him so much. He like really reminded me of Rhysand from Akatar. Recently, that's like on my mind right now, prevalent, heavy on my mind, is Dean Yenin. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but Dean from the Kingmaker series, and he was like originally a villain. The whole point of his story is to be like a redemption arc. So book 3, Dean's story, Chef's Kiss. When he was mentioned later on in the other series, like after his book, Chef's Kiss, like his character development, his growth, Chef's Kiss, him letting go of his, oh my god. I love him. He is my MCM at the moment. A book that made you cry. Back in the end of February, I read Magnolia Parks, the first book. I was crying so much. It was crazy. Like, I was so emotional and so distraught. I am literally the summary of the books, like... I think in general, because I wanted to cry, and also I was about to get promoted, my emotions were emotionally heightened because of that. I hate kind of stories like that, but it really sucked me in, like the back and forth, and like just like always hoping, like a really like toxic relationship, like hoping that they'll be together, or hoping that that person will change, but then something happens, and that really kept that kept messing with me. So I was crying so much because stories like that really get to me, like the betrayal of it all. And then a book that made you happy, it kind of made me sentimental, not really, a little bit happy. I was happy, like how the series of that so far ended, but it also kind of made me a little like bittersweet nostalgic. And that was The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. I really liked how it wrapped up with Percabeth, at least for like that series. Whenever I would talk about like the series when I was reading it, is healing my inner child, looking at it from a different perspective and like viewing it as like a 23-year-old and like of these kids growing up with like parental issues. I was really relating to, and how their character growth, seeing them kind of grow up, like I felt like a I don't know what I felt like, not a mom, not a sister, but just like seeing how they grew up. It was like so like nice to see. I'm excited to get into the other series, but I am nervous too because I know they go through a lot of things, at least like the OG cast, like Percy and Annabeth. Most beautiful book you bought so far this year or received? And I don't really buy physical copies, but I did buy, say it with me, The Serpent and the Wings of the Night by Carissa Broadbent. I bought that book, you know, of course, because I freaking love that book. I got the hardcover copy. So I opened the sleeve, and the inside of the book was beautiful. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Loved it so much. I was like, wow, this is so nice. Like the little, I don't even know how to describe it. So next question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? At the very beginning of the year, my goal was to read a Throne of Glass series, but I don't think I am mentally capable of doing that at the moment. I don't think I have a lot of mental space to spare for that series, or like for a long haul series of that nature. So I don't think I'm gonna be reading that. As of now, I want to read the rest of the Magnolia Park series. I know BJ and Magnolia's story is done, so I'm excited to kind of go through that and then finish their story off and like see how much has changed or developed because of how distraught I was from the first book. And I also really want to get into Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I kind of want to get back into fantasy, but it intimidates me because sometimes I'm like, do I have enough time to feel these emotions? Because I get so obsessed with things and I just can't stop thinking about it, and then I can't do anything else because I want to read. I want to read and not do anything else, and I have a lot of other things to do. Well, not really that much anymore, so I do have some responsibilities. There's this other booktuber, Katie Whitrup, who had a mid-year book wrap-up or book tag video, and she came up with her own additional questions, which I only have 2 of them because those are the ones that really relate to me, because the other ones, they don't relate to me. One of her questions was, what books do you want to reread this year? I read ACOTAR last summer, and I really want to get back into it, but I know I shouldn't, but I feel like if I listen to it on an audiobook, it'll be fine, you know? And I really want to listen to the dramatized version. The last question, books you've been putting off, that is currently Daisy Hates. At first, I am waiting for my friend coworker Mia to read Magnolia Parks first, so then we could read Daisy Hates together. But I don't know when she's gonna get to it, and I definitely do want to finish that or read that this summer because I'm scared to be heartbroken, okay? A little dramatic, but I am scared for that, to like have my like little book hangover as what I had with the first book, the Magnolia Parks book. I had such a headache, my face was puffy, I couldn't stop tearing up thinking about their story. That is why I've been putting off the rest of the series. That is the end of the questions. That was kind of fun to discuss overall all the books I've read. And if you want to follow me on Goodreads, if you go on my Instagram, I have a link to my Goodreads there on like one of my book highlights. And also follow me on my other socials, my Instagram, which is It's Kelly David, and TikTok, same username, It's Kelly David. If you enjoyed the video, give the video a like and thumbs up, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace out. Bye!